Hey, good afternoon, TheMOWERMEDIC1. Today, got a little bit something different for you. I've got a co-worker of mine has got a Honda Accord with a 3.0 liter engine, V6. Check engine light's on, and the code is P0401 or P0401, which means basically it's a EGR low flow or insufficient flow from the EGR valve, and he's already replaced the EGR valve. He's replaced the EGR solenoid. He's replaced the position sensor. He's done all this stuff to it, and still pulling the code. Well, he was asking, basically, what else in the world can be wrong with it? I said, I've replaced all the sensors on it. And I told him, I said, man, before you've done all that, you should have, asked somebody, because he's just going up to AutoZone, and buying parts. They're coming out to his car and hooking up their little scanner, and they're just selling them parts to throw at it. But what we're going to do is we're going to remove the intake manifold, and we're going to check and see if the passages are clogged up. First thing you want to do is remove the air box. Pretty straightforward. Right here is a 10mm fastener, and there's one right down on the bottom side right here, and then your duct work, just pull it off of there. You don't have to take the whole air box out, you can just take the top half off, but I don't like to disturb that. And I do apologize for the lighting, and I'm having to do this outside, not in my shop, so it may be a little bit of wind noise, so just bear with me. Next thing you want to do is you want to remove the intake air tube, and basically it's just held on by a clamp right here, and you've got one hose plugs in right there. Just kind of wiggle it off. That out of the way. Now, the next thing you want to do is you're going to have to remove the plug wire. If I don't keep knocking things over, you don't have to, but I like to remove the plug wires right here. Again, 10mm fasteners here. Just kind of pull them out of the way. You don't have to take them off the spark plugs, just loosen the bolts and remove the plastic right there. Remove the plastic for the intake manifold there. You've got two studs here in the front, 2, 4, 6 bolts, and one more stud right here. Get all those removed, and we'll get the intake manifold off here. Pretty much what you need to do now is remove the throttle body and let my neighbor go by here with his truck. He got a half-ton Chevrolet with straight pipes on it. The throttle body is held on by 4 12mm nuts. One on each corner. Just unscrew it. Remove the vacuum lines. You can mark them if you like. There's only a couple, so it's pretty easy to figure out where they go. Remove the connector right there. Slide the throttle body back. That. Leave the throttle cables and everything hooked up. That's all you're doing, is just pulling it back off the studs there. Next thing you want to do is, I've already jumped ahead for you there, and I've already removed all the bolts on the intake. So basically now the intake is ready to lift off after you remove the 4 bolts, 6 bolts and 2 studs. And there's one more thing right here I want to show you. I'm going to have to take you off the tripod. Right back here in the back is a little plate. And it's two 10 millimeter nuts or bolts that hold this, I call it a vacuum port assembly, I guess you'd call it. But anyway, there's a gasket right here. You don't want to lose that. Take those nuts off, and we'll get this off of here. There's the gasket, don't lose it. Oh. And it comes straight up off of there. Careful not to lay it over the battery too much, because it could arc out. But let me show you here in just a second what you need to do to clean these ports out, and we'll get it all put back together. I've got the intake manifold upside down on the top of the motor now, and here is your ports. As you can tell, it's just gucked up. I've seen more hard, gunky nastiness on Fords and Chevys, but I guess these Hondas do it too. What you want to do though is you want to clean all that out. I don't recommend using anything, you know, that'll oversize the hole, but I found this screw, this wood screw, that I can kind of feed down in there all the way, and you can actually feel it hit the barrier wall or the intake manifold wall back in there. And the flutes of the screw actually help me pull that junk out of there. What you want to do is you can squirt that out with some brake clean, some carburetor cleaner, and I won't bore you with all that, but I'll squirt it out here in just a second so I can show you. You can squirt off the intake runners if you like to. You don't have to worry about it going all over your motor at this point. Looks pretty good. I'll show you what this hole looks like when it's good and clean. Port rather. Hope I can get you in there close enough. Focus please. There we go. It's not very good, but better than some. There we go. That's what you need to see. Now they make a kit, and I don't think this one's been done, but I hear whenever I was tooling around on some forums that there's like a kit that goes in here that allows you to put a updated pipe intake, or I mean a EGR pipe in there. I don't know. I'm just going to clean this one out and hope for the best, and let's get this EGR valve removed. The EGR valve is located right here. It's just held on with 12 millimeter nuts. You can just pull it straight up, and you can get to the ports on the bottom side now. I've done a little surgery on this port already. cut it pretty clean. But I'll show you where this ends up going. If I can find my little can here. Oh well, I'll just use this one. If you'll watch, I'm going to spray some brake cleaner right in here. There we go. I like to fill up this cavity with brake clean. Just let it sit there for a little bit. And just blow her out with air. And clean off your EGR mount. Somebody has taken a scribe or something and cleaned that gasket off there and has scratched the poo out of that. I hope it seals. Go ahead and reinstall your EGR valve. You don't have to kill it, but just snug it pretty good. You want to crush that gasket so it seals. That's plenty right there. Now this intake gasket, you don't have to replace it, but since this is a paying customer, I am going to replace this gasket just to cover my rear end, and I'll show you the box right here. Using the Felpro gaskets, the part number is 96167. Go ahead and lay your new gasket down on the intake manifold. Like that right there. And these metal gaskets are sometimes can be tricky to get on. It's not because they don't fit, it's because they need to be put down evenly. Okay, now that looks good. Let's grab our intake manifold. One in particular is right here on the back side, right there. Get the clamp put on. Got it over the studs. Being careful you don't break any sensors off. Make sure everything's square. You can start installing the nuts and the bolts. The bolts are all the same length, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, next thing we want to do is install the throttle body. Once you get everything buttoned back together, get your air box installed and your hoses and stuff, go ahead and give it a crank and see how it turns out. Runs pretty good. Now what you need to do is reset your ECM. Go ahead and hook up your code reader. I don't have a real fancy one, but hope you can see that. I just bought mine at like an auto parts store. It's just a cheapie, but it does get the job done. I'm going to go ahead and erase. Yes, confirm. The light is out. And that concludes how to clean the EGR ports on a Honda Accord 99 model with a 3.0. Have any questions, let me know. THEMOWERMEDIC1. Have a great day.